I'm in the Woodbine, Maryland area on a road called Hoods Mill Road. There was an old mill here in the past, which makes sense. There is a historical plaque down the street that speaks of the Civil War. But what I find more interesting was an event that happened here in 1855 where 6 slaves were escaping to their freedom along this railroad. And the mill here was a very important area during that time period. And when they came through this area in 1855 on Christmas Day, they were stopped. And unfortunately, one slave was shot and killed. One was apprehended and sent back to slavery in Virginia. I'm going to share a engraving that depicts what happened, and I'll get more into detail about this event. But Hoods Mill in the Woodbine, Maryland area. In a book titled The Underground Railroad, written in 1872 by author William Still, he writes about Virginia slaves Frank Wanzer, Emily Foster, Barnaby Grigsby, Mary Elizabeth Grigsby, and 2 other unnamed individuals. They were traveling towards their freedom along the railroad when they came to Hood's Mill on Christmas Day. They were stopped by assailants and they defended themselves with guns and knives to drive them off, but they ended up abandoning their wagon and fled. Unfortunately, one was shot and killed while they're trying to flee, and one was apprehended and taken back to slavery in Virginia. It is said that Wanzer, Foster, and the Grigsbys sprinted 52 miles overnight at a hard pace to reach freedom in Columbia, Pennsylvania. The escape was published and an engraved depiction of the fight was made. The depiction seen here is titled Fight at Hood's Mill. Here is the plaque that is down the road, and it mentions that the Confederate Army came through here after damaging some tracks. Here's a picture of the mill. It was constructed in 1845, and this was an important mill as Mount Airy would send agriculture products by the rail to Hood's Mill for processing, and it really helped contribute to the growth and economic development of Mount Airy. This house is called the Seal House, and this house is the Schultz House. These 2 are on the historic registry, and there was once a prosperous town. There was many more houses and buildings at one point, but many of them are no longer there. And this is a nice road to drive through. It's a very country, rural road. But if you're ever in the area on Hoods Mill Road, you can think of this event, the Fight at Hoods Mill.